Hi everyone, thank you for inviting me along, and Muriel, that was fantastic. That was absolutely brilliant, and there's so many things that we're doing so similarly, but I'm in a primary school setting, and in fact some of the stuff that you were talking about, materials, I've just been doing last week in a different vein, so I can maybe expand on that as I go through, but anyway. I'm at Sidlaw View Primary School in Dundee. We started our STEM journey in 2019. For me, it was a personal area of interest, and I was carrying out some professional inquiry before that about it, but looking to start in the year 2019 school year with it. We initially applied for the Scottish Government Education Scotland grant for to support us, and were unsuccessful the first time, but the second time, which was was just 2021-22 year, we were successful, hooray! And that has allowed us to even build our STEM stuff even more in school. So we started out with a rough plan, which has really become a real consistent 3-year plan. In the first year, I delivered STEM through our RCT, or non-contact time. Some people call it Macron time, we call it RCT in our school. I went in, delivered STEM basically to everyone in our school through that in 2.5-hour blocks to each class. We're a small school. We've just recently gone over 200 pupils. We were single stream in that year, and we were delivering it in that way. I would go in, give STEM learning, and the enthusiasm from the children was just fantastic. And it really created this buzz and this vibe around STEM and what did STEM mean. And the kids would come up to me and say, we were doing this in a literacy lesson, we were using your words. And, you know, they were starting to say things about what they were learning. They'd be doing a story with ice caps in it, and then it led on to what we were doing around, say, COP26 when it was on, and we were doing all the stuff around materials or things like that. They'd come up and tell me, we were doing something else, and I've got to tell you how we used your learning, and they're making the links and the learning. So in the first year, it was just me delivering it. In the second year of doing it was when we got our STEM grant. So that allowed me to start really working out what resources we had and identifying how we could make this a bigger plan for staff, but support staff to do it. So we took our planning from our curriculum. We identified a planned approach over a 3-year period and how we would split up. And generally we took science curriculum and applied then the technologies, the engineering subjects and the maths towards them. Since then, we've been able to offer staff set training times where they're either supported by myself or in class coaching. We found that the model of actually helping while the learners are in the classroom made much more of an impact than being at a training session and not seeing how it could apply to the learners or how it could be used. I must say though, Muriel's absolutely right, the CERC training, which we've had in this last year, because we're now part of a primary science partnership. The 4 primary schools in our cluster are all part of a cluster partnership working with CERC this year, and I'm the lead mentor for that for our school and for our cluster. That has given, so this weekend I'm away to CERC for the whole weekend, Friday and Saturday, away doing all of the rest of the work that I then bring back and cascade through the school. I've been delivering training sessions or arranging other training, working from what we need as a staff. We've also used what CERC were planning to deliver to us as a planned approach across this year, because this year being our 3rd year of delivering STEM, we have taken the approach that I am leading it more, and the teachers are now taking on STEM more themselves. So we've been putting in strategies over this period of time to really support our staff so that nobody felt overwhelmed with it. Nobody felt it was another thing to do. Nobody felt that it was another something that we were just taking on. We want it really embedded in our school, because the impact came from the children. The impact came from how they were engaged with it, how they spoke about STEM, how they would look forward to their STEM sessions with me and ask to do it in different ways, or they were applying their learning in free time and things. It was just wonderful. So we also planned as part of that to try and get our Digital Schools Award, which again, here we go, we're cheering, yay! We got our Digital Schools Award in September last year, and I've been celebrating in different ways since. It's been just a boost for the children as well. So the next step, the eyes are on the STEM Nation Award and things. But to give you an overview of some of the things that we've done, this has an embedded little video. I'll let you have a little look. Don't know if the sound's not come through. Anyway, these are a group of children that were working with one of my colleagues. The children were making paper mache or volcanoes. You could see beforehand we did a lot of background work and writing up their experience. We make sure that we're discussing the science language. We, as part of our cluster, we have a STEM working group with our high school, the 4 primary schools, the 2 local primaries, and the Dundee and Angus College are part of our STEM working group. We've then put into embedded ideas across that to have shared language and consistency, so that we do moderation together, we look at lesson plans together as a cluster, looking to make sure that we're having shared approaches for certain things and looking for ways to jointly work together. So this is just an example of, you see the tectonic plates here going on, whose structure can withstand things. We're bringing in every lesson, we're trying to be explicit with our science, our technologies, engineering and maths, and how the children then can say how it applies to the learning that they've had within a specific lesson. I'll let you have a little look, but we always go back to how we can improve them and things. And here you can see Lucy and Honey's was the one to withstand the earthquake. The next slide on from here has some of the work that we've been doing around microbits. We were all given these as schools. They have been such a boost. The microbit training online, I find that my colleague and I are both co-digital leaders for the school, as well alongside me doing the STEM side of it. We find that these sessions are fantastic, especially when they're relevant to the seasons. The Christmas one was brilliant. We were making them light up on our Christmas trees. We've had ones where the children have done them for mood. We've done them for maths. We've done them for voting. Children are using them as pedometers. We've got them in different classes now right throughout the school, using them in different ways from the ones that we were given. These have been a real boost to our STEM learning, trying to incorporate it in different ways. And the children come up with great ideas. They've used them to create music and play tunes to younger children. I find the microbit website so good, and the coding side of it all comes in there so well. I was just trying to give you more examples. The next slide has, I think, the Legos. Nope, Minecraft. Minecraft, using the book and quill, we've been starting to extend our knowledge of Minecraft as we're using it more and more, using planning, making sure that they're doing all the stages of STEM learning within Minecraft, setting different challenges. Class teachers have used it to link to class novels that they're doing. We've had the BFG, we've had them making aspects of that. We've had the Dundee landscape has changed in the waterfront area over the years. We've had them redesign things. Our local authority also do competitions as well, and our school have been entering these because they love that the chance to try and win something, but also participate against other colleagues, other children in other schools and things as well. So this has been, Minecraft's a real boost. We've got the Minecraft education package for our school, and it's all across Dundee. So it's fantastic. That gives everybody another way of doing it. We also took part in the Lego Challenge project. I'm not sure Room took part, but they had a different way of taking part in it, because it was more to support the children that were taking part so that they could have the same opportunities as everyone else. The children in Nurture absolutely loved this. Coding, putting it all together, building them in the first place. Working as a team was one of the foremost things. The discussions that come out of STEM learning are absolutely wonderful. And there's a little link there. I don't know if you'll be able to play all of that, but people can maybe look at it later. That's from the Lego Discover project, which our primary ones took part in. So the junior children set challenges every week. They get a 6-brick challenge. They were set things to do with the bricks, and then we would talk about, it was all around transport. So we did things all around transport. How would you do things? And every week they'd build something for their Lego box, and it went away. And then the next week they'd build another challenge. How would you carry transport? And we talked about, we always try to bring into our STEM lessons something about developing the young workforce. So were we talking about postmen delivering things, or couriers, or who else delivers things? Oh, you get your fridge delivered. They'd come up with the children's ideas. The STEM capital that they bring along just brings so much to the lessons. So if you have an opportunity later, please feel free to have a little look at that video. We did a big celebration event for all the children, and they just loved it. It was another way to just share STEM even in the early years. If I link into what Muriel was saying about her teddy bears and things, we have the Discovery boat in Dundee, and it went off to the Antarctic, and it messed with icebergs. And at the moment, our primary 3 children are planning their materials talk, and they were doing all the insulation of how Captain Scott's going to stay warm in his coat, what clothing would he wear. It really links on to what Muriel was saying, but extending it for them. We had them building tents, and you were saying about the bits about building the teddy bears things and going out on different things. We've had the children building tents out of materials and chairs in the classroom, and we've opened up the Coda pillars. We set them a challenge to avoid different icebergs in the classroom. The same with the bee-bots. We also had even just marble runs out for activities. They're trying to get the marble to work all the way down, so avoided, we were saying, is there an iceberg in there? Their imaginations. Then we had recyclable materials, and the children made things that they needed for their adventure. So we had scoops for the snow and binoculars being made, and the children have all put these in their trays so they can bring them out for when they're on their adventures next. It's cascading more and more. But other classes are doing materials and linking them with stories in early years. So we've got the 3 Little Pigs and Little Red Riding Hood happening in our primary 1 and primary 2 classrooms at the moment. And again, they're using all their ideas to think out what would they wear, what would she carry, what can you carry things in, and they're just building it on the children's knowledge as well, and of course engaging them in the storytelling of it all. So if this helps anyone with ideas, this is what we've been doing. We've also in school from this year started our young STEM leaders. So our primary 7s are all young STEM leaders. We've also got a leadership group of children from primary 3 to primary 7. The leadership group came up with at Sidlaw View, we are STEM-tastic, and we are taking STEM to the next level. This year was when we've really started this, the children being more involved in the leadership of it, because if we're embedding it, it has to come from them more and more, and they feel that we've been doing STEM a wee while, Mrs. Grubb. Of course you have. So, well, now we're just taking it to the next level. So that's exactly what we're doing. We are now making sure that everyone is involved in STEM, is enjoying it. The teachers are delivering it in different ways. We're linking it to curriculum subjects. We're making it part of our IDL, and all teachers across the school are now are heavily involved in delivering STEM. So that's where we're at just now. The children can I add to that bit there? The children in the primary 7 group have actually been taking on leading certain curricular areas as well, and delivering lessons as part of the Young STEM leadership. So some of the children have been down in the infants delivering on species, and some have been delivering on the body. But I would give them things that they might need to know, but from the first session on species to the second session on the body, the difference in what the children want to tell them. But I want to tell them this, I want to tell them how the heart pumps, and I'm going to make a PowerPoint on this. They are now leading the learning themselves. The ideas are flowing from them. I just set it up, give them the resources that they need, and they are now embedding it with the other children. And it's amazing, the response from the younger children too. It's really, really, really good. So none of this, as I've said, wouldn't have been as much in our school had it not been for the Enhancing Professional Learning STEM grant that we received. This is our 2nd year of having it. It's made such a difference to allow me the time to lead this. I have been able to plan for resources, deliver training to the staff, do one-on-ones. I've offered coaching to staff. I've offered team teaching or watching me deliver a lesson. I've offered planning sessions for lessons. And because of the STEM grant, we've been able to do that. I'm also still class committed as well. I have put together a bank of resources, like Muriel was suggesting. I've done something for every curricular area and shared that with staff as well, highlighting different websites that they can go on to support the learning and include STEM with it. So that's one of the things that I've been able to do to support us developing STEM at Sidlaw View Primary. And I've just given my contact details and information for anyone that would like them. So if you've any questions, please feel free. I hope I've not gone too far over time.